Hey everyone, I'm CJ, and today I'm going to be getting under the covers of Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life, and I marked my progress with this half-price books bookmark, and I love half-price books. It's an awesome place. Um, anyway, so yeah, here we go. Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life by Bryan Lee O'Malley, released in 2004. And most of you know this book has been made, well, not just this book, but the whole series, I believe, is pretty much all encapsulated into one movie. And I've only read this book in the series. I had to read it for school, so I don't know what goes on in the rest of the series, but I'm just assuming that the movie encapsulates all 7 of the volumes, or 6 volumes. I don't really read This isn't a book. This is a graphic novel. Here's some of the pictures in the graphic novel. Hopefully they come out good on camera. But I don't really read graphic novels too much. I used to read comic books a lot when I was a kid. I was a big comic book nerd. And then I kind of just grew out of them once I started reading books. I kind of like the character development and more descriptive backgrounds. I like to make them up in my head than to see what's going on the page. And I think that's what really turned me away from comic books growing up. But this is a pretty good graphic novel. I like all the references to video games and music, and just like nerdy kind of things. I really like that about this graphic novel. And the story is about Scott Pilgrim, who is this character right here. And he's 23 years old. He's in a band called Sex Bob-omb. And he's dating a 17-year-old girl named Knives. And she's still in high school, which I thought was kind of weird because he's 23, she's 17, and still in high school. And it's not really like he gets a hard time from his friends about it, but it's not that big of a deal in the book, which kind of makes me think things are weird up there in Canada. Just kidding, I like Canadians. So Scott is dating this girl, and then he meets this girl, Ramona, who's been in his dreams, and she says she can travel through subspace, which I think is like a cool idea. And he sees her in his dreams, and then he finally sees her in real life, and he likes her, and then he dates her while dating this other girl. So Scott Pilgrim's not looking very cool in my eyes. It's cool that he's in a band, and he's comfortable with having a gay roommate, but he's dating 2 girls at the same time, and one of them's 17. That's kind of weird. I don't want to give away too much of the book, but in order for you all have seen the movie, so I don't really have to explain the plot that much. So I'm just going to give some details I think are interesting. I like the characters. Every character in this graphic novel gets introduced, and they're all unique, and they all have their own specifics to them that make their character unique and memorable. I really like the art in it. The art is cool. It's kind of, I don't know if it's manga if it's considered manga or manga. I don't even know how to say it. I'm not really familiar with that genre or style, so I really can't comment on that too much. But I like some of the devices O'Malley uses if he writes. I don't even know if he does the illustrations for this. Let's check that out. Yeah, I guess he does do the illustration for it too. But I enjoy this for being a graphic novel. I'm not going to do a too long of a review on this. I don't really have a lot to say because we've all seen the movie. I prefer the movie over this because it encapsulates the whole series, I guess, and I don't want to. Oh, this book was $11.99 on the shelf at like a Barnes and Noble or something, but I ordered this off Amazon, so it was a lot cheaper. I recommend doing that instead of paying full price for it because I read this in like an hour, and I read through half of it again, just to take it in more and get a better understanding of what was going on. So I'm not gonna really do a too long review on this, like I said before. I will give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because, like I said before, graphic novels aren't really my thing. If I would have read this a long time ago, I would have really enjoyed it because I was more into graphic novels and comics at that time. So if I would have been reviewing it back then, I would have probably given it a 5 out of 5 because, like I said before, I love all the nerdy references and the music references, and I thought the characters were really funny and interesting. And one of the I didn't mention this before, but I thought one of the coolest things in this book is that Scott is comfortable having a gay roommate, and I think it's cool that how normal that is to them in the comic, and like that's still something that is a big issue today with homosexuality. So I thought that was really cool and something that isn't, it's not really in the forefront of this comic or graphic novel, and it's not addressed much, and it's kind of just a commonplace thing, and I thought that was really cool. So anyways, I'm rambling now, so I'm going to stop. But one more time, Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life. It's volume 1 in a 6-volume series. I believe it's 6. I'm going to check really quick. Yeah, in a 6-volume series. So volume 1, Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life. The second volume is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which is the name of the movie. It's by Bryan Lee O'Malley, one more time, and I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars, only because I'm not a big graphic novel fan. I actually had to read this for school, but when I was a big graphic novel or comic book fan, I probably would have given it a 5 out of 5. So, yeah. The next book I'm going to be reviewing, I already decided it because I've already read it, is Hairstyles of the Damned by Joe Mino. He's a Chicago author. And my favorite book of all time is Salad Days by Charles Romalotti, and a lot of people say that these two books are very similar, and I'm not going to comment on that right now. I'm going to wait for the review. So, Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life, 3.5 out of 5 stars by Bryan O'Malley. Thanks for tuning in to Under the Covers. I'll see you next time. Later.